Hello, welcome back to my Thaumcraft 4.1 tutorial series. So I haven't scanned a lot yet, but I've scanned a few things, and I wanted to let you know that you can scan almost everything in the game, and that includes mobs, like chickens. Chicken has air and bestia and feathers, so volatus. So I have discovered volatus, bestia, and I already knew about air, that's a primal aspect. Okay, I'm going to go scan some more stuff, but I just wanted to show you that you can scan mobs. You can scan almost everything in the game. So you definitely want to try that, especially early on. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back from scanning things. So let's go into our Thaumonomicon. So in the Thaumonomicon, under Basic Information, the first tree you're going to want to go down to, the first branch, or however you want to view this, is probably the Research Expertise, and this one, which is Research Mastery. And the reason is that it makes the research easier by helping you conserve points and showing you some things in the research table that otherwise are harder to find. So if we go into Research Expertise, we're going to get a note for that, take it to our research table, and you can see I've got many more things now. This is Cognitio, so it's mind. Sensus, which, I don't know, senses, I guess. And Ordo, which is order. So we have to connect these three things together. I can connect Cognitio to order and order to sensus, or Cognitio to sensus, sensus to ordo. It doesn't matter how we go, as long as all three are connected by some means, in some line, some way. So remember, we need something that either is made up of Cognitio or something that Cognitio is made up of. So what is in Cognitio? If we go into our Thaumonomicon, back to Aspects of Magic, we can see that Cognitio is Terra and Spiritus. And I learned that from Paper. If you can see that, Paper is a little icon that's there. So I could connect Cognitio to Terra or Spiritus, or anything that has Cognitio in it. And I'm not thinking of anything right off, but I'm not well versed in the research, but I'll get the hang of it. Give me a minute off camera to go figure out how I'm going to connect these. I'll be right back. Okay, so looking back in the Thaumonomicon under Aspects of Magic, I can see that Sensus is made up of air and spiritus. So that is pretty handy information. I can now do something like this. So spiritus, where is spiritus? It's alphabetical. Oh, here it is. Okay. It's alphabetical based on the Thaumcraft name. So Aqua is at the front. That's not what I was looking for. Terra is in the T's, not in the E's for Earth. That's what I meant to go for. So let's go for Spiritus. I can drag Spiritus down here. You can see it connects. Then I can actually drag Sensus, because Spiritus is in Sensus. And Spiritus is in Sensus, so I can connect it just like that. So here's a line from Cognitio to Sensus, and that's not bad. Alright, I'm going to go figure out how I'm going to do Ordo. Be right back. Okay, so we can connect Cognitio to Ordo like this. Cognitio is Terra and something else, I forget. Saxum, stone, is Terra and Terra, so we can connect Terra to Saxum. And Metallum has Ordo and Saxum in it. So metal, Metallum, is ordered stone, I guess. And there we go. The rest of them disappear. I get my discovery for Research Expertise. Drag it down to my hotbar and right click. Alright, so going into our Thaumonomicon, what did Research Expertise get for us? We're more efficient at research, whenever we remove an aspect we replace in a hex, there's a 25% chance we'll regain the aspect point, or the research point. You are also able to see what aspects you need to combine to create an aspect you're hovering over. So let's see what some of that means. So if I hover over them now, I can see that Nitor is made of Modus and Terra. That's going to be very helpful for not having to go back and forth between the table and the Thaumanomicon aspects of magic over and over and over again. It's not perfect, but it is a benefit. So that's nice. Also, I don't think I've told you this before, but let me get a note for Research Mastery. Put that in here. And so I told you they have to connect, but what if they don't connect? What if I put something that's just not right? Like, what if I say Precantatio, which is magic, which I know is made up of vacuos and potentia. What if I say it's got fire in it? Oh, those don't connect. You could even see it's dark. I had 22 points for fire. There's 21 now. If I take it out, there was a 1 in 4 chance we'd have got that point back. We didn't this time, but we might have. So that's the other thing that helps you with research expertise. Research Mastery is going to do some more stuff for us. But this way I've got a much more complex grid. And note there are some missing hexes in here. We can't connect any which way we want anymore. We've got to go certain ways. So I'm going to go off camera, figure out how we're going to connect these 4 things. I'll be right back. Okay, so here is our completed research path for Research Mastery. So Precantatio has vacuos in it. Vacuos has air in it. Modus has air in it. Modus has air in it. Sensus has air in it. Sensus has spiritus in it. Spiritus has victus. Victus has aqua. Gelum has aqua. Ordo is in gelum. Ordo is in gelum. Aqua is in gelum. Victus is in aqua. Terra is in victus. And Terra is in cognitio. So they all connect. Now, if you're looking here, you might see 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes. Why didn't I just use these 3? Well, the truth is, I couldn't find a path from Sensus to Ordo with only 3 aspects. Sometimes you're going to have to use more than you absolutely have to just to make them connect. But this research game is actually not too bad. It's very doable, much better than the research system in 4.0. So I'm going to grab Research Mastery, go into our Thaumanomicon. You can see our shiny tab is basic information, and we've got our little shiny thing on Research Mastery. What do we get here? We're even more efficient. Whenever we remove an aspect, there's a 50% chance we'll regain the aspect point. So now, 1 and 2, if we make a mistake, we'll get it back. That's nice. There's also a 10% chance when we place an aspect, it won't cost us any research points. So 1 in 10, we're not going to use any points whatsoever. That's going to be very helpful. Lastly, you are able to combine aspects in the research table by control-clicking on the aspect you wish to create. If you have enough of the component aspects, they will automatically combine to create the clicked aspect. I think he actually means shift-click here, but let's try it out. So, going into our research table, let's say I wanted more lux. If I shift left-click lux, yeah, it used an air and a fire and gave me an extra lux point. And it is shift click, not control click. So that's probably sneak click. Let me try control click. Yeah, that does not work. So that's a bug, but that's okay. So that's handy because if I didn't do that, I'd have to know that lux is made of fire and air and then combine them that way. So instead of just researching to get new things, I can also make more of a certain aspect if I need it for research. Which is helpful because I'm out of spiritus. Well, what's in spiritus? I don't know. But if I shift click, I now have another spiritus. And apparently I used up a victus and a mortus. So that's why I need to get that. So as long as you have more primal aspects, you will be able to combine them eventually to make your compound aspects. I'm not sure what happens when you don't have the aspects to make it. I'll try to find that out and show you. But that's a good start for Research Mastery. and research expertise. If you're playing on a server with your friends, it might be very helpful to go into research duplication. This is a Thaumcraft 4.1 thing where you can share research. So when I click the research note and right click it, it goes away. I can't share it with anybody else, and it's tied to my player data, so I can't share my world. This data is just for me. But Thaumcraft 4.1 has a way to share that. I'm not going to go into that. It's not very important for what I'm doing, but maybe I'll look into it later. If you want to see that, hey, put a comment in the video. I'll do it. So, the deconstruction table. This is very handy for getting more of an aspect. So, right now we've got plenty of aspects, but what happens if we didn't have any more air aspect and we couldn't find anything more to scan with our thermometer that had air in it? Well, one way to get it is with that deconstruction table. I think I'll go a different direction though. Let's see if we can make Nitor, because Nitor was going to use the Crucible. So the Crucible we need a cauldron for. So let's get a cauldron, and I've already got a pickaxe. So a cauldron, let's see, is that just sand? Okay, I can take care of that. I have a shovel. I want this, you know what, I don't think sand can catch fire, so I'm not going to worry about that. I guess we're about to find out though. So a cauldron is used in alchemy, in making Thaumcraft potions, basically. So we need a cauldron to start with, and we need some way to heat our water eventually. So let's place our cauldron right here. I'm going to put my heat source there eventually. Let's just put that there, and I'll put that there, put this back. So here's a cauldron. And by the way, whenever you make new things, you want to scan the components with your thermometer. So before I turn this cauldron into a crucible, I want to scan it. So I might be able to scan that lava too. In fact, I know I can. So let me do that too. You can scan almost everything in the game. It's very handy to do so. Put my cauldron back, get my wand back. If I right-click on the cauldron, it turns into a crucible, which we can also scan. There we go. So, what are we going to do with this crucible thing? Well, if you read this, you can find out what you do with crucible. It needs to be placed over a source of constant heat and filled with water. So, we're going to need some water. Alright, there we go, water. And you can see it will start to bubble. It should take just a few seconds, actually. Come on. Okay, there we go. The cauldron is now ready for throwing stuff in there. I find it very helpful to have stairs, because if you're standing right in front of it, often you throw things like right at it instead of into it. So I'm going to put stairs right here, and that's a new thing I can scan. Scan, scan, scan. You need research points like crazy. Scan every new thing and every component of everything you build. It's very helpful. Okay, so let's go back into our Thaumonomicon, and how would we have made that Nitor stuff? Well, we need these aspects in the Crucible, and then we have to throw in glowstone dust, and that'll give us a Nitor. So, I'm sure this tells you about how to use it. I don't want to read it all right now, but you should, and I should too. So, that's part of the fun of Thaumcraft, figuring out how to do things, and part of it is reading it. And don't post on the Thaumcraft forum about how something works if you haven't read the Thaumonomicon, because they're going to ask that. They're going to yell at you if you haven't read it. But I'll tell you how to make Nitor because I already know. So, we need to put things into the Crucible that will give us these aspects: Ignis, Lux, and Potentia. So you have to know what kind of items you can throw into your Crucible that would get you those. Well, I happen to know coal has Ignis and Potentia. How would I know that? I'd go to Basic Information in my Thaumonomicon, Aspects of Magic, and I'd say, well, what has Ignis? and I'd hover over it, and I'd see coal, obsidian, and lava. Well, I can't throw lava into a crucible. I don't have any obsidian, so there's some coal. And what has potentia? Let's see here. Again, that's coal. And then what has lux? And again, these things are also alphabetical by the Thaumcraft name. And that's torches. So if I had coal and torches and glowstone, oops, not that, we could make Nitor. Grabbing some stuff that we'll need, glowstone. Okay, so you're wondering why I put these specific numbers of items here. If we shift when we're hovering over something, it'll tell you how much of an aspect the item contains if you've already scanned it. Also helpful for telling you if you scan things. Like for instance, I have never had any glowstone dust, so I haven't scanned that. So let's toss it on the ground and scan it. There we go. I now know that glowstone dust is made up of lux and sensus. Okay, so there's 2 potentia and 2 ignis, and there's 1 lux for each torch. In our Thaumonomicon, under Alchemy, Nitor, we need 3 ignis, 3 lux, and 3 potentia. Well, there's 2 ignis and potentia for each piece of coal. If we have leftover aspects, we're going to end up with this stuff called flux, which turns into taint, and that stuff's bad. You don't want it, especially not in your base. So try your best. It's not going to be possible most of the time. This one's actually pretty easy to actually even out, but if you can, try to use things as easy as possible to make your recipes perfect, or with as few leftover aspects as possible. So 3 coal is going to give us 6 potentia and 6 ignis. Each torch worth 1 lux, so that'll be 6 of that. And we need a glowstone as the catalyst to start the process. So if we go over here, I'll just throw them down here. Throw the glowstone in here, and you can see I got my Nitor. I got the Nitor back. It's pretty much instant. You can also, go in here and click over to the right. Now I'm in cheat mode on what is this called? NEI. So my access is going to disappear over here, but normally it would go off the side and drop into the Crucible. So, hey, we have a new item. What are we going to do with it? We're going to scan it. I'm going to say that a lot because I forget all the time. So, there we go. I scanned Nitor. I have Nitor. So, what can we do with Nitor? Well, the one really handy thing, you can see I made my base out of cobblestone, and the reason I did that is I was making out of wood or whatever else I've been lying around. I mean, I cheated the cobblestone, and it's not like I needed it, but I don't want that lava there. The lava catches things on fire. If I had a wood base, doesn't make sand burn and cobblestone burn. Most things will burn, but Nitor is very handy in that we can put it right there. Oh, look, it's Nitor. That's kind of nice. And that will keep my Crucible heated. It's a much nicer, much more Thaumcraft way of keeping your Crucible heated up. And unlike Thaumcraft 3, if you played that, you can use the Crucible multiple times before the water runs out. I think it's 3 times, but I could be wrong about that. So there we go. There's the first thing we can build. We can build Nitor. Alright. So, what else can we do? Well, we can do some more research. Let me check the time and see where we're at. I'll be right back. Okay, we're at about 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. We learned a lot in this episode, I think. We learned how to use the Crucible, how to make it, and how to use it to make alchemy stuff. We also learned about research expertise and research mastery, which are very helpful in doing research. So next time, I'm hoping I can use some of this Nitor stuff to build what's called an arcane lamp. An arcane lamp is going to let me get rid of all these torches on the ground. It's actually a pretty cool lighting system from Thaumcraft. So we'll try to do that next time. Catch you then.